CapeCast.
Howdy, folks. I'm Eric Williams, and welcome to CapeCast, the official webcast of the Cape Cod Times. Imagine it's the 1600s, and for some reason, I'm a woman with a baby. It's a perfect time for a trip to the Hoxie House, likely the Cape's oldest house. Let's go inside. Well, Eileen, I feel like we've gone back in time. We're here at the Hoxie House. What can you tell us about this cool house?
It was built in the 1600s. We estimate around 1670. We're not quite sure because, like anything, the records have been burned. It's the oldest salt box on the Cape, and some people think it's the oldest house. Again, we're not sure about that.
And who lived here way back then when it was first built?
Well, who lived here? As far as we know, there were just two families, the Smiths and the Hoxies. And actually, Smith was a sheep farmer, but he was a minister, which was more important because he was the man in town. The second owner was Abraham Hoxie. He was a whaling captain, and he purchased the house in around, we estimate, 1860. And they lived here until the Hoxies died out.
Now, back in the day, the 1600s, this wasn't some little bungalow. This was kind of a big deal, right, this house?
Are you kidding? This was a trophy house.
Reverend John Smith here. You know, it's not that easy being the head honcho in this town of Sandwich here in the 1600s. It's a small town, but a beautiful town. But you know, the king's man is always around. Too many risers in your stairs, you get taxed. Your floorboards are too big, you get taxed. Tax, tax, tax. It drives a man to smoke. So, Eileen, what can people find here when they visit the Hoxie House? What kind of stuff do you have inside?
We have all period furniture from that time, the 1600s. We actually have a loom that was in this house in the 1600s. You're not going to really find any real windows around too much, but we do have an original that was found in between two walls of an old farmhouse in East Sandwich, and the man donated it to us. How lucky were we?
So a lot of this wood here is original stuff touched by the hands of people in the 1600s.
Right, exactly. Well, the floors. These are the original floors. Some of the boards have been turned over. And I think I told you how this house was saved was because Abraham Hoxie, one of the second family that owned the house, put this new thing called linoleum on the floors. And when they came in to restore the place, it was in such a mess, they said, we don't think so. But one of the people lifted up the linoleum, saw the floors. These are the original floors. These are floors that they walked on in the 1600s. And as I said, it was 60, 70% the original wood. Anything else that's been placed in here came from barns or older, same period. All the wood is the same period.
These nails in the door behind me were a sign of prosperity, sort of a show-off thing. If you had lots of nails in your door, you had a little dough in your pocket. Well, Eileen, here at the Hoxie House, we can finally find out the origin of the phrase, turning the table. What is it?
If you went into a pub, what you'd find is a table like this. Now, if you went in and the table was this way, the barmaid would say to you, I'm sorry, the tables have been turned. In other words, you couldn't get food and drink. However, if it was open like this, okay, the man could sit down, he could have food and drink.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Hoxie House was a blast, and it's open for the summer now. It's open daily, 10 to 5 on Sunday, 1 to 5. $3 to get in for adults, children under 5 are free. It's worth the visit. That is a cool, old-school salt box.
CapeCast.